Wednesday morning, 9:47 a.m. I'm sitting in my corner office at Meridian Tech Solutions, reviewing the final security protocols for the Apex Global merger, when Cynthia Piotrowski walks in without knocking. She's 32, CEO's daughter, newly appointed VP of Operations with exactly 9 months of experience in corporate leadership. She's wearing a charcoal suit that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage, and she's holding a single sheet of paper. No greeting, no preamble. She slides the paper across my desk. It's a termination letter. "Security will escort you out," she says, her voice flat, rehearsed. "Leave your badge and laptop." I look down at the letter. Embossed Meridian letterhead. Legal jargon about organizational restructuring. My name at the top, except it's misspelled. Zachary Gardner instead of Gardner. I look up at her. "You misspelled my name." She's already at the door. Doesn't turn around. "HR will send your final check." The door closes. I'm alone. I look at the letter again. Signed by Cynthia A. Piotrowski. Countersigned by Mary Martinez, HR Director. Termination effective immediately. Reason, organizational restructuring. I check my phone. Wednesday, 9:47 a.m. My $127,000 performance bonus is scheduled to process Friday at 5 p.m. That's 79 hours and 13 minutes from now. But there's something else on my calendar for Friday at 5 p.m. A reminder I set 11 years ago, back when Richard Piotrowski, Cynthia's father, Meridian's CEO, was desperate to keep me from leaving for a competitor. The reminder says, ownership transfer, Sentinel Protocol. Let me back up. My name is Zachary Gardner. I'm 48 years old. I've spent 19 years at Meridian Tech Solutions building the cybersecurity infrastructure that this entire company runs on. Every firewall, every encryption protocol, every security clearance system that protects our clients' data. I'm the guy who designed Sentinel, the proprietary security platform that makes Meridian valuable enough for Apex Global Systems to offer $285 million to acquire us. And I just got fired by someone who couldn't even spell my name right. I sit back in my chair. The office is quiet. Through the glass wall, I can see the rest of the team working. Kenneth Hummel at his desk, headphones on, debugging code. Patricia Vance in the conference room, running through presentation slides. Nobody knows yet. I look at the termination letter again. There's a timestamp at the bottom. 09:47 a.m., November 13th. I open my desk drawer. Inside is a folder I haven't touched in years. It's labeled Employment Agreement, Addendum C, 2013. I pull it out. Flip to page 7. There it is. Clause 14.3. In the event of termination without cause prior to the completion of any pending acquisition or merger, employees shall retain full ownership rights to all proprietary systems developed during tenure, including but not limited to the Sentinel Protocol, effective immediately upon bonus forfeiture. Richard Piotrowski signed this 11 years ago because I threatened to walk. He needed me. He needed Sentinel. So he gave me insurance, a clause buried so deep in legal language that nobody would ever think to look for it, unless they fired me right before a merger and right before my bonus. I close the folder. My hands are steady. My heart rate is normal. Cynthia thought she was saving the company $127,000. What she actually did was trigger a clause that transfers ownership of Sentinel, the only thing making this merger possible, directly to me. And she has 79 hours to figure that out. I stand up, pick up my badge and laptop. Security is probably on their way. I take one last look at my office. 19 years of work, 19 years of loyalty. Then I walk out. 2 security guards appear at my door at 10:15 a.m. Young guys, mid-20s, they look uncomfortable. "Mr. Gardner," the taller one says, "we need to escort you out." I stand, put on my jacket, place my badge and laptop on the desk, right next to the small silver USB drive labeled Backup Sentinel. I've kept that drive on my desk for 11 years. It's empty, always has been, but it looks important. I slip my personal phone into my pocket. the one with biometric access to the Sentinel Protocol's cloud vault. As I walk through the office, the room goes quiet. Keyboards stop clicking. Conversations die mid-sentence. 47 people I've worked with for years, some of them for over a decade, stare at me like I'm a stranger. Kenneth Hummel stands up from his desk. He's 38, senior engineer, the best debugger I've ever trained. His mouth opens, but nothing comes out. "Zach," he finally says, "what's happening?" I stop. Look at him. "It's okay, Ken. Just read your contract. All of it." He doesn't understand. Not yet. The security guard touches my elbow. "Sir, we need to keep moving." I glance up at the second floor. Through the glass wall of her office, Cynthia is watching, arms crossed, face expressionless. She's probably already drafting the company-wide email about organizational restructuring and strategic realignment. I keep walking. In the elevator, the silence is suffocating. The guards stand on either side of me like I'm a criminal, like I stole something. My mind races. I know exactly why she did it. My bonus was tied to a performance clause. If I wasn't employed at the time of payment, the company saved $127,000. Cynthia had been looking for ways to cut costs before the Apex merger closed. She'd been in meetings with the CFO for weeks, going through line items, finding inefficiencies. She thought she'd found an easy win: fire the expensive senior engineer right before his bonus processes, save 6 figures, look like a decisive leader to the board. What she didn't know, what nobody except Richard Piotrowski knew, and he'd probably forgotten, was that my bonus wasn't just money. It was a trigger. The elevator doors open. I walk through the lobby, past the reception desk where Angela has worked for 15 years. She doesn't look up. Outside, the October air is cold, sharp. I get into my car and sit in silence for a moment. Then I open my phone. I navigate to a folder I created 11 years ago. Inside is a document: Sentinel Protocol, Ownership Transfer Agreement. I scroll to the clause I memorized years ago. In the event of termination without cause prior to the completion of any pending acquisition or merger, employee shall retain full ownership rights to all proprietary systems developed during tenure, including but not limited to the Sentinel Protocol, effective immediately upon bonus forfeiture. I close my eyes. Cynthia didn't know that when my bonus payment processed on Friday at 5:00 p.m., full legal ownership of the Sentinel Protocol, the AI-driven threat detection system that Meridian licensed to 47 Fortune 500 companies, would automatically transfer to me. Not the company, me. And without Sentinel, the Apex merger was worthless. I start the car, drive through familiar streets, past the coffee shop where I stop every morning, past the park where I used to take my daughter when she was little. I pull into my driveway at 10:52 a.m. Marta's car is there. She works from home as a freelance graphic designer. She's probably in her studio, headphones on, working on a client project. I sit in the car for a moment longer, 79 hours. Cynthia has 79 hours to figure out what she's done. 79 hours before the Sentinel Protocol, the only thing making Meridian valuable enough for a $285 million acquisition, transfers out of the company's control. 79 hours before the Apex merger collapses. I get out of the car, walk to the front door. My hands are steady, but my chest feels tight. 19 years of loyalty, 19 years of 60-hour weeks and missed family dinners and late-night emergency calls, and she couldn't even spell my name right. I open the door. 79 hours, I whisper to myself. Then I step inside. I walk through the front door at 10:52 a.m. Marta is in the kitchen on a Zoom call with a client. She's wearing her reading glasses, gesturing at something on her screen. When she sees my face, she stops mid-sentence. "I'm sorry, can I call you back in 10 minutes? Thank you." She ends the call. "Zach, why are you home? It's not even 11. I set my keys on the counter. Sit down at the kitchen table. "Cynthia fired me, effective immediately." The color drains from her face. What? Security escorted me out at 10:15. She sits down across from me. Her hands are shaking. Can she do that? Just fire you before your bonus? She can fire me. That bonus was supposed to cover Emma's spring tuition. We budgeted for it. She stops, takes a breath. What are we going to do? Emma is a sophomore at Northwestern, $68,000 a year. We refinanced the house 3 years ago to pay for her freshman year. Lucas is a senior in high school. College applications due in 2 months. And I've been managing type 2 diabetes for 5 years. Last month, my doctor looked at my A1C levels and said, "You need to reduce stress, or we're looking at insulin." I pull out my phone. Open the document I've been carrying for 11 years. She can fire me, I say again, but she just triggered something she doesn't know exists. I turn the phone toward Marta. She leans forward, squinting at the screen. What is this? Ownership transfer agreement, signed 11 years ago by Carl Wynn and me. When my bonus processes on Friday at 5:00 p.m., the Sentinel Protocol, the system that generates $180 million in annual licensing revenue, transfers to me. Legally, automatically, irrevocably. Marta stares at the document. To you? Not the company? To me. But the merger. Apex is buying Meridian because of Sentinel. The client base, the revenue projections. Exactly. She looks up at me. So if you own Sentinel, the merger collapses, unless Cynthia figures this out in the next 78 hours. Marta sits back in her chair. How long have you known about this? 11 years. 11 years ago. I'm sitting in Carl Wynn's office. It's late, past midnight. There's bourbon on the desk, 2 glasses, and a document I've never seen before. Carl is 67 years old, former NSA cryptographer, Vietnam-era intelligence. He joined Meridian 20 years ago as CTO and built the foundation for everything we do now. He's the one who recruited me, trained me, taught me how to think like a systems architect instead of just a coder. He slides the document across the desk. Zach, I'm putting something in your contract that nobody else knows about. Not HR, not the board, just you, me, and my attorney. I pick up the document, flip through the pages. Your annual bonus isn't just compensation, Carl says. It's a dead man's switch. Once it pays, ownership of Sentinel transfers to you. The agreement is already executed, sitting in escrow with my lawyer. I look up at him. Carl, that's your life's work. Why would you? Because I've seen what happens when the wrong people take over. His voice is quiet, steady. They strip everything for parts and sell it to the highest bidder. I won't let that happen to Sentinel. You built it with me. You deserve to protect it. He leans forward. Someday, someone's going to try to push you out. When they do, you'll have this. Use it wisely. What if they find out before it triggers? Carl smiles. They won't. Because people like that don't read the fine print. They just sign. I stare at the document. This could destroy the company. Only if they're stupid enough to fire you before a major transaction. He pours another finger of bourbon into my glass. And if they're that stupid, they deserve what's coming. Present day. Carl died 3 years ago, I tell Marta. Lung cancer. But he saw this coming a decade before it happened. Marta is quiet for a long moment. Then she asks, what happens on Friday? At 5 p.m., I become the sole owner of the system that's holding Cynthia's merger together. 47 Fortune 500 companies license, Sentinel from Meridian. Without it, Meridian is just another mid-tier tech firm with decent revenue and no competitive advantage. Apex isn't paying $285 million for that. And Cynthia has no idea. None. What are you going to do? I close my phone. Nothing. I'm going to let the clock run. Marta looks at me. Really looks at me. You've been carrying this for 11 years. I never thought I'd need it. I thought loyalty mattered. I thought 19 years of work would mean something. She reaches across the table, takes my hand. "It does mean something," she says. "It means you were prepared." I go upstairs to my home office. Close the door, open my laptop. A countdown timer appears on the screen, one I programmed 11 years ago and never told anyone about. 78, 41, 22, red numbers, ticking down. When it hits 0, Cynthia Piotrowski's $285 million merger will be dead, and she has no idea. I sit at my home office desk, dual monitors, encrypted server access, biometric scanner mounted on the right side. The countdown timer fills the left screen. 78, 41, 22, red numbers ticking down. I open a secure folder on my desktop. Sentinel Protocol Master Access. Every line of code, every client integration, every security key, locked behind biometric encryption that only I can access. Cynthia's IT team won't even know where to look. They'll see the system running, licenses active, clients connected, but they won't see the ownership structure buried in the escrow agreement. I open my email client, draft a new message to Beatrice Richardson, Lead Counsel, Apex Global Systems, David Chen, VP of Acquisitions, Margaret Foster, Chief Legal Officer Subject, Meridian Apex Merger, Section 9 Compliance Concern. Body. As of Friday, October 13th at 5 p.m. EST, Meridian Tech Solutions will no longer maintain valid ownership rights to the Sentinel Protocol, as outlined in the Merger Agreement Section 9. Intellectual Property Continuity. Please review the Key Personnel Clause, Section 9.3, and verify current licensing status before proceeding with closing. I schedule the email to send automatically Friday at 5:01 p.m., 1 minute after the ownership transfer. No button to push, no dramatic moment. Just a quiet notification that will tear apart everything Cynthia's been building. I lean back in my chair. Let me tell you what Cynthia threw away. 2005. I was hired as a junior security analyst, 29 years old, fresh from a failed startup that burned through investor money in 8 months. I needed the job. Carl Wynn took a chance on me. 2008. Promoted to lead engineer after I stopped a data breach that would have exposed 2 million customer records. I found the vulnerability at 2:00 a.m. on a Saturday. Spent 16 hours patching the system before anyone knew it existed. 2011. Carl and I designed the Sentinel Protocol, AI-driven threat detection that predicted attacks 72 hours before they happened. It was revolutionary. Still is. 2014. A ransomware attack hit Meridian's infrastructure. The entire network went down. The board wanted to pay the $40 million ransom. I rebuilt the system in 96 hours, saved the company, saved the clients, didn't sleep for 4 days. 2017. The Pentagon approached Meridian because of Sentinel. I personally presented to a 3-star general. He asked me if the system could protect critical infrastructure. I said yes. He believed me. 2019. Sentinel licensed to 47 Fortune 500 companies, generating $180 million annually. Carl retired that year, handed me the keys, told me to protect it. 2022. Apex Global Systems approached Meridian specifically because they wanted Sentinel's client base. The merger was built on my work, my system, my 19 years. I didn't do it for awards. I did it because Carl believed in me when no one else did, and because I thought loyalty mattered. Marta enters the office with a sandwich. "You need to eat something." "I'm not hungry." She sits on the edge of my desk, studies my face. "Zach, talk to me. What are you feeling right now?" I'm quiet for a long moment. "I'm angry," I finally say, not just because she fired me, but because she didn't even know my name. 19 years, and she spelled it wrong on the termination letter. Marta touches my hand. "This isn't just about the merger, is it?" "No." I look at the countdown timer. 78, 12, 4. It's about... I gave them 19 years. I missed Lucas's soccer games. I missed Emma's dance recitals. I worked through your father's funeral because we had a system crash, and she fired me like I was nobody. So what do you want? I want her to know what she threw away. I want everyone to know. Marta studies my face. Then she nods. Okay. But when this is over, we're taking that trip to Maine, the one we've been postponing for 5 years. No arguments. I manage a small smile. Deal. She kisses the top of my head, leaves the sandwich on the desk, closes the door behind her. I turn back to the screen. Across town, Cynthia is probably celebrating. Drinks with the board. Congratulations on cutting costs. Smart decision. Strategic thinking. She has no idea. I check my phone one last time before bed. In 76 hours, Cynthia's career will be over, and I'm the only person in the world who could stop it. I don't plan to. Have you ever sacrificed everything for a job, only to be treated like you were replaceable? Drop a comment and tell me your story. Keep watching, because day one is about to get very interesting. Thursday morning, 6:47 a.m. I wake to 5 missed calls from unknown numbers. I ignore them, make coffee, check the countdown timer on my laptop. 58:13:41. At 7:30 a.m., an email arrives. The sender is Rachel Kim, financial journalist at TechCrunch. Subject: question about Meridian Apex merger personnel. Body: Mr. Gardner, I'm following up on reports of personnel changes at Meridian Tech related to the Apex merger. Specifically, I'm trying to verify the current status of the Sentinel Protocol's development team. Do you have any comment? I stare at the email for a moment. Someone's already talking. I type one line. Ask Meridian about Section 9.3 of the merger agreement. Hit send. Close the laptop. At 8:15 a.m., my phone rings. Kenneth Hummel. I answer. Zach, what the hell is going on? His voice is tight, stressed. Cynthia called an emergency meeting this morning. She's asking about Sentinel's backup systems. She wants to know where you kept the master access codes. What did you tell her? I told her I don't have access to that level. She's having IT try to breach your old workstation. They won't find anything. The encryption is biometric. Only I can unlock it. Silence on the other end. Zach, what did you do? I didn't do anything, Ken. I just got fired. What happens next is on her. He exhales. Okay, I'll call you later. He hangs up. I set the phone down. Take a sip of coffee. 57:42:19. At 9:42 a.m., my phone rings again. Unknown number. I answer. Mr. Gardner, this is Beatrice Richardson, lead counsel for Apex Global Systems. Thank you for taking my call. I sit up straighter. Ms. Richardson, we've had some questions raised about the merger agreement, specifically Section 9.3, the key personnel clause. I'm familiar with it. The clause lists you as essential personnel for the Sentinel Protocol integration. We were under the impression you were still with Meridian. I was. Until yesterday morning. Silence on the other end. I can hear her breathing. I see. Her voice is careful now, professional. Can you confirm whether the Sentinel Protocol's ownership rights are currently held by Meridian Tech Solutions? The licensing certificate was last validated while I was employed. My status changed Wednesday at 9:47 a.m. If you want current verification, you'll need to ask Meridian's legal team. Another pause. Understood. Thank you for your time, Mr. Gardner. She hangs up. I set the phone down. She's going to call Meridian in the next 10 minutes, and when she does, Cynthia is going to realize she has a problem. At 11:18 a.m., my email pings. It's from an Apex Global distribution list. Someone accidentally forwarded an internal email chain. My address is still on it from the merger planning meetings. I open it. From Beatrice Richardson to Jonathan Pierce, General Counsel, Meridian Tech Solutions. Subject: Urgent Section 9.3. Compliance verification required. Jonathan, require immediate proof of ownership for Sentinel Protocol. Section 9.3, compliance in question due to personnel change. Provide current licensing certificate showing active, uncontested ownership by EOD today. From Jonathan Pierce to Cynthia Piotrowski. Subject RE urgent. Need to discuss this immediately. Conference call at 2 p.m. From Cynthia Piotrowski to Jonathan Pierce. Subject RE urgent. What personnel change? I'll handle this. I close the email. Don't forward it. Don't respond. Don't move. The less I do, the more they scramble. At 12:03 p.m., Kenneth calls again. Zach, I need to tell you something. Go ahead. Cynthia just offered me director of cybersecurity, $185,000 salary. She said I'd be taking over Sentinel management. I wait. I told her I needed to think about it. He pauses. But Zach, I can't take that job. You built Sentinel. It's not right. Ken, you have a family. If you need to take it, no. His voice is firm. You taught me that integrity isn't negotiable. I'm not forgetting that because she's waving a bigger paycheck. I'm out. I'm submitting my resignation this afternoon. Something in my chest loosens. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, I did. He exhales. Whatever you're planning, I'm with you. I close my eyes. Thank you, Ken. Don't thank me. Just don't let her get away with this. I won't. He hangs up. I sit in silence for a moment. Kenneth just walked away from a $185,000 salary promotion because he believed in something bigger than a paycheck. Cynthia has no idea what she's losing. At 1:47 p.m., my phone buzzes with a stock alert. Meridian Tech Solutions, NASDAQ MRDN, 6.2% news alert. Meridian Tech stock slides on unconfirmed merger concerns. I open my phone, check the financial news feeds. Analysts are starting to ask questions. One tweet from a prominent tech analyst. Hearing whispers about personnel issues at MRDN related to Apex deal. Key IP ownership in question. Watching closely. Another. If Meridian can't verify ownership of Sentinel protocol, Apex deal is dead in the water. $285 million at risk. I close my phone. The market is reacting. Investors are nervous. The whispers are getting louder, and Cynthia is running out of time. I go for a walk, down the street, past the park, around the block. The October air is cold, sharp, clears my head. When I get back home, I check the countdown timer. 53:13:08, 53 hours. Cynthia has 53 hours to figure out what she's done. 53 hours to find a way to stop the ownership transfer. 53 hours to save her merger. I sit down at my desk, open my laptop. An email notification appears. From Marta. Subject. Proud of you, body. Ken just called me. Told me what he did. Told me why. You know, you built something bigger than a system, Zach. You built loyalty. Don't forget that. I read the email twice. Then I closed the laptop. Marta's right. This isn't just about the merger. It's not just about revenge. It's about showing the world what happens when you throw away the people who built everything you have. And in 53 hours, everyone will know. Friday morning, 8:23 a.m. I'm making breakfast when my phone rings. Cynthia Piotrowski. I let it ring. Once, twice, 3 times, 4. Then I answer. Zachary Gardner. We need to talk now. Her voice is tight, controlled, but I can hear the edge underneath. About what? Don't play games with me. Apex's legal team called yesterday. They're asking about Section 9.3. They said they spoke to you. They asked me a question. I answered it. What did you tell them? The truth. That I was employed when the licensing certificate was last validated, and that I'm not employed anymore. Where is the current certificate? Her voice is rising now. We've checked the legal vault, the contract archive, your old workstation. Have you checked the merger agreement? Silence. What are you talking about? Section 9.3, the key personnel clause. It's very specific about what happens if essential personnel leave before integration is complete. I've reviewed the key sections. I'd recommend reading all of it, especially the parts your legal team didn't flag. Zachary, this isn't a game. She's shouting now. If we can't produce that certificate, The merger. She stops herself. If you can't produce it, I say quietly, Apex will invoke the delay clause, minimum 9 months, maybe longer, and during that time, they'll decide whether this deal is worth salvaging. Damn it, Zachary, this is my reputation on the line. I let the silence stretch. Yes, I say, it is. I hang up. 32:37:19. At 10:47 a.m., Kenneth texts me, Cynthia's losing it. She's had IT in your old office for 2 hours. They can't access anything. She's threatening to sue you for theft of intellectual property. I reply, let her try. The ownership transfer agreement is legal. Carl's attorney has the original documents. 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. This is insane. I've never seen her like this. I set the phone down. At 11:30 a.m., Marta finds me in my office staring at the countdown. 30:42. You look pale, she says. When's the last time you checked your blood sugar? This morning. It was fine. Zach, you're shaking. I look at my hands. She's right. This is taking a toll, Marta says quietly. Maybe you should... I can't stop now. It's almost over. That's what I'm afraid of. She sits on the edge of my desk. What happens when it is over? Will you be able to let this go? I don't answer. She touches my hand. I'm not asking you to stop. I'm asking you to think about what comes after. I nod, but I don't know if I believe myself. At 12:15 p.m., my phone buzzes. Stock alert. Meridian Tech Solutions, NASDAQ MRDN, 9.3% total decline, 15% in 2 days. News headline, Meridian Tech plunges on merger uncertainty, IP ownership questions raised. The market is reacting. Investors are panicking. The whispers have become headlines. At 1:03 p.m., an email arrives. Anonymous sender. Subject line, you should hear this. There's an audio file attached. I download it. Press play. It's a recording from Meridian's emergency board meeting this morning. Voice 1, Tony Nelson, independent director. Cynthia, walk me through this. You terminated Gardner 79 hours before his bonus payment, the same bonus that's tied to the IP transfer clause. Did you read that section of his contract? Cynthia, I was told the bonus was standard performance compensation. Tony, by who? Because legal flagged this clause 11 years ago when Carl Wynn wrote it. It's in the files. Voice 2, Richard Piotrowski, CEO. We'll fix this. We'll offer Gardner whatever he wants. Bring him back. Tony, I already reached out through back channels. He's not interested. Richard, then we'll sue. Breach of contract. Theft of IP. Tony, on what grounds? The transfer clause is legal. Carl and Gardner structured it as a personal consulting agreement, separate from standard employment terms. Our own legal team validated it in 2013. Cynthia, voice breaking, there has to be something we can do. Tony, there was. You could have read his contract before you fired him. Silence on the recording. Then the sound of a door slamming. The recording ends. I sit back. The board is fracturing. Cynthia's credibility is gone. And Richard Piotrowski, her father, the man who built Meridian from nothing, is realizing his daughter just destroyed his legacy. At 2:47 p.m., a news alert flashes across my screen. Breaking. Apex Global Systems suspends Meridian Tech merger negotiations pending contractual review. I open the article. The statement is clinical. Due to unresolved concerns regarding intellectual property continuity, Apex is suspending merger negotiations with Meridian Tech Solutions pending further review. We remain committed to exploring strategic partnerships in the cybersecurity sector. Not terminated, suspended. That's worse. It means Apex is keeping options open while they explore alternatives. I check the countdown. 27 to 13:08, 27 hours. At 3:15 p.m., my phone rings. Unknown number, New York area code. I answer. Mr. Gardner, my name is Dr. Helena Voss. I'm CEO of Apex Global Systems. I wanted to reach out personally. I sit up straighter. I'm listening. My legal team has spent the last 24 hours reviewing the Meridian merger agreement. It's become clear that the value proposition we were pursuing is tied to you, not the company. I wait. We'd like to propose an alternative arrangement. A direct partnership between Apex and you personally, bypassing Meridian entirely. If you're interested, I can have a term sheet to you by end of day. I look at the countdown. 26:45:33. I'd need to review the terms. Of course. Mr. Gardner, I'll be direct. We need someone we can trust. That's you, not Meridian. Expect the term sheet within 2 hours. She hangs up. I set the phone down. Apex isn't trying to save the Meridian deal. They're trying to cut Meridian out entirely. At 5:47 p.m., the term sheet arrives. I open it. Proposed Partnership Agreement. Apex Global Systems and Zachary Gardner Consulting, LLC terms. Exclusive licensing of Sentinel Protocol to Apex for 5 years. $95 million upfront payment. $22 million annual licensing fee. Zachary Gardner retains full ownership of Sentinel IP position as Chief Security Architect at Apex. Optional, $450,000 salary. Relocation assistance to New York. Optional. I read it twice. $95 million. Upfront, plus $22 million a year for 5 years. That's $205 million over 5 years. More than the Meridian merger was worth. And I keep ownership. I close the laptop. Marta appears in the doorway. What is it? Apex just offered me a direct partnership. $95 million upfront. $205 million total over 5 years. Her eyes widen. What? They're cutting Meridian out. They want Sentinel. They want me. They don't want the company. Marta sits down slowly. What are you going to do? I look at the countdown. 24:13. 19. I'm going to wait, I say. 24 more hours. Let the transfer complete. Then I'll decide. Why wait? Because I want Cynthia to know exactly what she threw away. I want her to see the number. I want her to understand that this wasn't about money, it was about respect. Marta studies my face. Then she nods. Okay, but after this, we're done. No more revenge. No more looking back. Deal. She kisses the top of my head. Leaves the room. I turn back to the screen. 24/11/3, 24 hours. In 24 hours, Cynthia's merger will be dead. And I'll have an offer worth more than she ever imagined. Thursday night, 11:47 p.m., 17/13/42. I haven't slept. I'm in my office, monitoring news feeds, stock prices, email, watching the countdown tick down. My blood sugar monitor beeps. I glance at it. 247, dangerously high. I ignore it. Marta appears in the doorway in her robe. Zach, it's almost midnight. You need to sleep. I can't. Not yet. She walks over, sees the blood sugar monitor. 247. Zach, that's not safe. I'll take insulin. I'm fine. She sits on the edge of my desk. No, you're not. You're shaking. You haven't eaten since breakfast. And you've been staring at that countdown for 3 days. 17 hours. Just 17 more hours. And then what? Her voice is soft. Will you be able to let this go, or will you keep carrying it? I don't answer. I'm not asking you to stop, she says. I'm asking you to take care of yourself, because I need you alive when this is over. She kisses my forehead. Leaves. I take my insulin, but I don't leave the office. Friday morning, 6:30 a.m., 10:30. I fell asleep at my desk around 3 a.m. Marta wakes me with coffee. It's almost over, she says. I check my email. A new message from Helena Voss at Apex, sent at 11:47 p.m. last night. Subject, revised term sheet, final offer. I open it. Proposed partnership agreement, Apex Global Systems and Zachary Gardner Consulting. LLC terms, 4-year consulting contract, $18 million total compensation, $4,500,000 per year. 3% equity stake in Sentinel's deployment through Apex part-time. Remote flexible full creative control over technical decisions. Retirement option after 4 years with continued royalties. I read it twice. $18 million over 4 years. Equity, remote work, creative control. It's more than I ever made at Meridian. I forward it to Tony Nelson, Carl's attorney, now mine. He replies within minutes. This is exceptional, better than anything Meridian offered. Let's move forward. I close the laptop. At 9:00 a.m., my phone rings. Richard Piotrowski. I stare at the screen. Almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Zachary, I'm calling personally, not as CEO, as someone who's known you for 19 years. I'm listening. I made a mistake. His voice is tired, defeated. I gave Cynthia too much authority too fast. She didn't understand what she was doing. But this will destroy the company. Hundreds of jobs. People who've been with us as long as you have. You're right. It will. So help me fix it. Name your price. Come back. We'll make Cynthia apologize publicly. Richard, I'm not coming back. Why? Because of pride? Because you want revenge? No. I keep my voice steady. Because for 19 years, I was loyal. And when it mattered, you let your daughter fire me to save $127,000 salary. You taught me that loyalty only goes one way. Silence on the other end. Zachary, please. His voice breaks. I'm sorry, Richard, but it's too late. I hang up. 5:00 noon. I turn off my phone. Marta and I have lunch together in silence. Sandwiches? Soup? She holds my hand across the table. How are you feeling? She asks. Tired? Scared? A little. She squeezes my hand. It's okay to be scared. 2 p.m. I go for a walk around the neighborhood. Leaves falling. October air cold and clear. I think about Carl. About the night he gave me the ownership transfer agreement. About the bourbon on his desk and the way he looked at me and said, someday someone's going to try to push you out. When they do, you'll have this. I think about the 19 years, the late nights, the missed family dinners, the emergency calls at 2 a.m. I think about what comes next. 1:30, 3:30 p.m. I return home, go to my office. Marta follows me, stands in the doorway. Are you sure about this? Yeah, I'm sure. No regrets? I look at the countdown. 1:27:43. I'll let you know in 90 minutes. She nods, sits down in the chair beside my desk. I'm staying, she says. You don't have to. I'm staying. Year 30s, 4:30 p.m. I sit at my desk, watching the numbers tick down. My heart is pounding. Marta's hand is on my shoulder. Breathe, she says. I breathe. 0:15 near 4:45 p.m. My phone, still off, sits on the desk beside me. I wonder if Cynthia is watching the clock too. I wonder if she's figured it out yet. I wonder if Richard is sitting in his office staring at the wall, realizing that his daughter just destroyed everything he built. 0:10, 4:50 p.m. Marta squeezes my shoulder. Whatever happens, she says, we're okay. You know that, right? I nod. 0:5 or 4:55 p.m. The room is silent except for the ticking. I close my eyes. Think about Carl one more time. Use it wisely. 4:59 p.m. Marta's hand tightens on my shoulder. I open my eyes. Watch the numbers. 0:59 p.m. The countdown stops. The screen flashes green. Ownership transfer complete Sentinel protocol. Legal owner Zachary Gardner effective. October 13th, 5:00 p.m. I sit back. It's done. Marta exhales. It's over. I turn on my phone. 17 missed calls, 43 emails, 1 notification from my bank. Bonus payment forfeited. $127,000 salary. I smile. That's the most expensive $127,000 salary Cynthia Piotrowski will ever save. If you were in Zachary's position, would you have answered Richard's call? Would you have given them one more chance? Drop a comment. I want to know what you would have done. And if you're on the edge of your seat right now, hit that subscribe button, because the next 5 minutes change everything. 5 p.m. Friday, October 13th. The countdown hits 0. My screen flashes green. Ownership transfer complete. A notification appears in the center of the screen. Sentinel Protocol ownership transfer executed. A PDF generates automatically. I click it. Updated licensing certificate system. Sentinel Protocol. AI-driven threat detection platform. Owner, Zachary Gardner. Effective date, October 13, 2024, 5 Azure PM EST. Authorized by Escrow Agent Tony Nelson, Nelson & Associates Original Agreement. Date, November 3, 2013. Signatories, Carl Wynn. Deceased, Zachary Gardner. 19 years of work, now mine. Marta squeezes my shoulder. How does it feel? I exhale slowly. I don't know yet. Ask me tomorrow. I download the certificate. Save it in 3 encrypted locations: local drive, cloud backup, secure server. Then I open my email and type one line to Tony Nelson. It's done. His reply comes back in seconds. Congratulations. Nobody can touch it now. I'll file the public registration Monday morning. I close the laptop. It's done. At 5:01 p.m., the automated email I scheduled 3 days ago sends. I don't have to do anything. It just goes. To Beatrice Richardson, Lead Counsel, Apex Global Systems, David Chen, VP of Acquisitions, Margaret Foster, Chief Legal Officer Subject, Meridian Apex Merger. Section 9, Compliance Concern. Body. As of Friday, October 13th at 5 p.m. EST, Meridian Tech Solutions no longer maintains valid ownership rights to the Sentinel Protocol, as outlined in the merger agreement, Section 9, Intellectual Property Continuity. Please review the Key Personnel Clause, Section 9.3, and verify current licensing status before proceeding with closing. Current ownership documentation available upon request. Zachary Gardner. I watch the sent confirmation appear. No button pushed, no dramatic moment, just a quiet notification that will tear apart everything Cynthia built. At 5:47 p.m., I turn my phone back on. It explodes. 38 missed calls, 54 text messages, voicemail full, emails flooding in. I scroll through the texts. Kenneth, Zach, what just happened? Cynthia's office door is closed. I can hear shouting. Unknown number. Mr. Gardner, this is Bloomberg News. Can you confirm reports that you now own the Sentinel Protocol independently of Meridian Tech Solutions? Tony Nelson, it's official. You're the sole owner. Call me when you're ready to discuss next steps. Helena Voss, Apex CEO. Mr. Gardner, we've received your notification. Let's talk Monday morning. I believe we have a deal. I keep scrolling. Unknown number. Mr. Gardner, this is CNBC. We'd like to interview you about unknown number. Wall Street Journal here. Can you comment on unknown number? TechCrunch following up on. Then one text stands out from Richard Piotrowski, sent at 5:03 p.m. You won. I hope it was worth it. I stare at it for a long moment. Then I delete it without responding. Marta is still standing beside me. What now? Now? I look at the phone, at the flood of messages, at the chaos I just unleashed. Now we wait. For what? For the world to catch up. She sits down on the edge of my desk. Are you okay? I think about it. Really think about it. Yeah, I say, I think I am. No regrets? Not yet. She smiles. Good, because I'm holding you to that Maine trip. Deal. At 6:15 p.m., another email arrives from Beatrice Richardson at Apex. Subject, Meridian Apex Merger, Section 9, Compliance Concern Body. Mr. Gardner, thank you for the notification. We've reviewed the documentation you referenced. Our legal team confirms that Meridian Tech Solutions is no longer in compliance with Section 9.3 of the merger agreement. As a result, Apex Global Systems is formally terminating merger negotiations with Meridian, effective immediately. We will be reaching out to you directly on Monday to discuss alternative partnership arrangements. Beatrice Richardson, Lead Counsel, Apex Global Systems. I read it twice. Formally terminating, effective immediately. The merger is dead. I forward the email to Tony Nelson with one line. It's official. His reply, "Well done. Get some rest. Monday's going to be a big day." I close my laptop, turn off my phone, stand up. Marta takes my hand. "Come on, let's go downstairs. I'll make dinner." "I'm not hungry. You're eating anyway." I follow her downstairs. In the kitchen, she puts on music, something soft, jazz, Miles Davis. I sit at the table. Watch her move around the kitchen. For the first time in 3 days, I feel like I can breathe. It's done. The transfer is complete. The merger is dead. Cynthia's career is over, and I'm free. Marta sets a plate in front of me. Pasta, garlic bread, simple. "Eat," she says. I eat. And for the first time in 79 hours, I don't think about the countdown. Saturday morning, October 14th. I wake at 7:30 a.m. First full night's sleep in 4 days. Marta is already up, reading her tablet at the kitchen table. "You need to see this," she says. She hands me the tablet. Bloomberg headline: Meridian Tech merger collapses over $127,000 bonus clause. Subheading: How a cost-cutting decision destroyed a $285 million deal. I sit down, read the article. It details everything. Zachary Gardner's termination, Wednesday morning. The $127,000 salary bonus payment scheduled for Friday. The ownership transfer clause written by Carl Wynn in 2013. Section 9.3 of the merger agreement. Apex's suspension of negotiations. Meridian stock down 18%. The article quotes an anonymous Meridian board member. This was entirely preventable. Gardner was essential personnel. The clause was flagged years ago. Someone should have read the contract. I scroll down. TechCrunch. The $127,000 mistake. How Meridian Tech lost its most valuable asset. Wall Street Journal. When cost-cutting goes wrong, the Meridian Apex merger collapse. I open Twitter. It's on fire. Tech analyst. This is what happens when you promote based on last names instead of competence. MRDN down 18% and counting. Former Meridian employee. Zach Gardner was the best manager I ever had. Cynthia Piotrowski fired him to save money before her bonus. Karma is real. Cybersecurity expert. Sentinel Protocol is worth $180 million annually. Meridian just lost it over a $127,000 bonus payment. This will be taught in business schools as a case study in incompetence. I set the tablet down. Marta is watching me. How does it feel? Surreal. Good surreal or bad surreal? I don't know yet. She pours me coffee. The world knows now. They know what you built. They know what she threw away. I nod. The world knows. At 9:15 a.m., Kenneth calls. "Zach, have you seen the news?" "Yeah, I've seen it. It's everywhere. Bloomberg, TechCrunch, Wall Street Journal. Twitter's going insane." He pauses. "Cynthia's not answering emails. The office is chaos. Half the engineering team is updating their LinkedIn profiles." "What about you?" "I submitted my resignation yesterday afternoon. Effective immediately. I'm done." "Ken, you didn't have to." "Yes, I did. You taught me what leadership looks like. Cynthia taught me what it doesn't." "I'm not staying." Silence on the line. "So, what's next for you?" Kenneth asks. "I'm starting a consulting firm, Gardner Security Solutions, and I'm bringing on a director of engineering, if you're interested." He laughs. "When do I start?" 3 weeks. Marta and I are taking a trip to Maine first. We've been postponing it for 5 years. "You earned it, Zach. I'll be ready when you get back." "Good. I'll send you the details next week." "Looking forward to it." He hangs up. Marta is smiling at me from across the table. "Director of engineering?" He deserves it. Yes, he does. Monday morning, October 16th, 8 a.m., a press release hits the wire. Apex Global Systems announces strategic partnership with Gardner Security Solutions. I read it on my laptop. Apex is pleased to confirm an exclusive partnership with Zachary Gardner and Gardner Security Solutions for the continued development, deployment, and management of the Sentinel Protocol threat detection system. Mr. Gardner brings 19 years of cybersecurity expertise and is the original architect of Sentinel, which currently serves 47 Fortune 500 clients. This partnership positions Apex as the leading provider of AI-driven threat detection in the enterprise security market. No mention of Meridian Tech, no mention of Cynthia Piotrowski, just my name and the system I built. Within an hour, the tech press picks it up. TechCrunch. Apex bypasses Meridian. Partners directly with Sentinel Creator. Bloomberg. Gardner lands on his feet. $10 million deal with Apex Global. The Verge. Meridian's loss is Apex's gain. How one firing changed the cybersecurity landscape. I close the laptop. Marta is reading over my shoulder. $18 million. They published the number. Helena wanted it public. She wanted everyone to know what I'm worth. And now they do. At 11:30 a.m., I check the stock market. Meridian Tech Solutions, NASDAQ MRDN, 8.1% total decline from Wednesday, 26%. Market cap loss, $340 million. Trading is halted twice for volatility. I refresh the page. Read the analyst notes. Morgan Stanley. Downgrade from hold to sell. Goldman Sachs. Downgrade from buy to hold. One analyst note stands out. Without Sentinel Protocol, Meridian has limited competitive differentiation. The Apex merger was their growth strategy. With both gone, we see significant downside risk. Price target reduced from $47 to $28. By market close, Meridian is down 29% total, $340 million in market cap. Gone. The financial damage is quantified, public, irreversible. At 3:47 p.m., my phone rings. Helena Voss. Mr. Gardner, have you seen the coverage? I have. Good. I wanted to make sure the world knows what you're worth and what Meridian threw away. I appreciate that. Our legal team is finalizing the partnership agreement. We'll have it to you by end of day. 4 years, $18 million, equity stake, remote flexible. Everything we discussed. Sounds good. One more thing, Helena says. We're hosting a press conference Thursday in New York. I'd like you there. Introduce you as our chief security architect. Show the world that Apex partners with the best. I pause. I'm taking a trip to Maine with my wife. We leave Wednesday. Understandable. How about this? Fly to New York Thursday morning, do the press conference at 10 a.m., and you'll be back in Maine by dinner. We'll cover all travel. First class. I look at Marta. She nods. Okay, I'll be there. Excellent. See you Thursday, Mr. Gardner. She hangs up. Marta raises an eyebrow. Press conference? Thursday, New York. They want to introduce me as chief security architect. And you said yes? I said yes, but we're still going to Maine on Wednesday. She smiles. Good, because I already booked the cabin. That night, I sit in my office one last time. Open my laptop. Check the news feeds. The story is everywhere. Bloomberg, TechCrunch, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Forbes. Every article tells the same story. Zachary Gardner built the Sentinel Protocol. Cynthia Piotrowski fired him to save $127,000. The merger collapsed. Meridian lost $340 million in market value, and Zachary landed an $18 million partnership with Apex. The world knows now. They know what I built, they know what she threw away, and they know who won. I close the laptop. It's over. Monday afternoon, October 16th, 2:47 p.m. I'm packing for the Maine trip when my phone buzzes. News alert, Meridian Tech VP Cynthia Piotrowski resigns amid merger collapse. I open the article. Cynthia Piotrowski, VP of Operations at Meridian Tech Solutions, has resigned effective immediately following the collapse of the company's $258 million merger with Apex Global Systems. The resignation comes after revelations that Piotrowski terminated key personnel just days before a contractual trigger that transferred ownership of Meridian's most valuable intellectual property. Board sources indicate the resignation was requested by directors following emergency meetings over the weekend. Piotrowski, 32, is the daughter of Meridian CEO Richard Piotrowski. She had been with the company for 4 years and was promoted to VP of Operations 8 months ago. A photo accompanies the article. Cynthia leaving Meridian's headquarters, security on either side, reporters shouting questions. Her face is pale, jaw tight, eyes straight ahead. The caption, former VP Cynthia Piotrowski declines comment on resignation. I stare at the photo for a long moment. I don't feel the satisfaction I thought I would, just a dull acknowledgement. It's over. I scroll through Twitter. The reactions are brutal. Cynthia Piotrowski's LinkedIn from 6 months ago, excited to lead Meridian into its next chapter of growth. That aged well. She fired a 19-year veteran to save $127,000 and lost a $285 million merger. That's not cost-cutting. That's incompetence. Nepotism has consequences. Richard Piotrowski gave his daughter a VP role she wasn't qualified for. Now they're both paying the price. Someone found Cynthia's updated LinkedIn. Meridian Tech Operations Analyst, 2020-2024. She'd already changed it. One comment stands out from a former Meridian employee. I worked under Zach Gardner for 3 years. He was the most competent, patient, and ethical leader I've ever had. Cynthia fired him without even learning how to pronounce his name correctly. This is what happens when you confuse a title with competence. I close Twitter. Tuesday morning, October 17th. Another news alert. Meridian Tech CEO Richard Piotrowski faces board pressure. The article details emergency board meetings, 3 independent directors calling for leadership review, investors demanding accountability. Richard's 22-year tenure as CEO now in question. The article quotes Tony Nelson, independent board director. The board takes full responsibility for oversight failures that led to this situation. We are conducting a comprehensive review of executive decision-making processes and personnel management. I read it twice. Richard isn't fired, but his authority is gutted. The company he built is fracturing, and his daughter's mistake is the reason why. Tuesday afternoon, 3:15 p.m. My phone rings. Tony Nelson. Zachary. I wanted to call personally, not as a board member, as someone who knew Carl and watched you build Sentinel from the ground up. I appreciate that, Tony. What happened last week? It should never have happened. Carl would have been furious. He built protections into your contract specifically to prevent this kind of incompetence. He saw it coming 11 years before it happened. He did, and he trusted you to handle it when the time came. You honored that trust. Pause. For what it's worth, Cynthia's resignation wasn't voluntary. The board demanded it. And Richard, he's staying on for now, but it's complicated. The board isn't happy. I didn't want to destroy the company, Tony. I just wanted them to understand what they threw away. They understand now. Everyone does. Wednesday morning, October 18th. I sit at my kitchen table with my laptop. Video call with Helena Voss and Beatrice Richardson. Helena's face fills the screen. Mr. Gardner, we're pleased to finalize this partnership. The terms are as discussed. 4 years, $18 million total compensation, 3% equity stake in Sentinel's deployment, part-time and remote flexible, full creative control. I've reviewed everything with my attorney. It's acceptable. Excellent. We'll execute the agreement today. Welcome to Apex. Zachary. Beatrice leans into frame. One more thing, Mr. Gardner. We'd like to bring on additional personnel from your former team. If you have recommendations... I do. Kenneth Hummel, senior engineer. He's already agreed to join as director of engineering for Gardner Security Solutions. I'd also like to bring on 2 other engineers from Meridian. People I trust. Helena nods. Done. Send us their information. We'll make offers by end of week. The call ends. I sit back. Marta appears with coffee. How does it feel? Like I can finally breathe. Thursday morning, October 19th. I call Kenneth. It's official. Apex signed the partnership agreement yesterday. Gardner Security Solutions is live. Congratulations, Zach. When do we start? November 6th. Marta and I leave for Maine tomorrow. 2 weeks, no phones, no email. When I get back, we'll set up the office and start building the team. I'm ready. And Zach, thank you for bringing me with you. You earned it, Ken. You chose integrity over a paycheck. That's rare. That afternoon, I called 2 other engineers from Meridian. Sarah Chen, 29, network security specialist, one of the sharpest minds I've ever worked with. Sarah, it's Zach Gardner. Zach, I've been following the news. Are you okay? I'm good. Better than good. I'm starting a consulting firm, Gardner Security Solutions, partnership with Apex. I'm building a team, and I want you on it. Silence on the other end. Then, I've been waiting for this call since you left, Zach. I'm in. Next, I call Marcus Webb, 34, AI systems architect, brilliant, methodical, unshakable under pressure. Marcus, it's Zach. I know. I saw your number and almost didn't believe it. I'm starting a firm. I want you as lead AI architect. Interested? Cynthia tried to promote me to your old role after you left. I told her no. I'd rather work for you. I smile. November 6th. I'll send details next week. I'll be ready. Thursday evening. Marta and I finish packing for Maine. My phone rings. Pentagon area code. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Mr. Gardner, this is Colonel Patricia Reeves, U.S. Cyber Command. We have a critical infrastructure situation. We need Sentinel protocol support immediately. Colonel, I appreciate the call, but I'm no longer the point of contact for emergency response. Kenneth Hummel is Director of Engineering for Gardner Security Solutions. He'll handle it. With respect, Mr. Gardner, we specifically requested you. Kenneth is excellent, better than excellent. He's been trained on every aspect of Sentinel. Trust him. I give her Kenneth's contact information and hang up. Marta is watching from the doorway, smiling. You actually delegated. I'm learning. Good, because for the next 2 weeks, you're mine. No work, no crises, just us and the coast. Deal. Friday morning, October 20th. We load the car, suitcases, hiking boots, a cooler full of food. Emma calls from Northwestern. Dad, I saw the news. Are you okay? I'm good, sweetheart. Better than good. Your tuition is covered, and your mom and I are taking that Maine trip we've been talking about. I'm proud of you, Dad. Something in my chest loosens. Thanks, Em. I love you. Love you too. Lucas texts from school. You're trending on Twitter. My friends think you're a legend. I laugh and show Marta. She shakes her head. Your son thinks you're a legend. I'll take it. We get in the car and drive north. The October leaves are brilliant. Red, orange, gold. Somewhere around the New Hampshire border, my phone stops buzzing. I turn it off completely. Marta reaches over and takes my hand. How are you feeling? Tired, relieved, ready to be done. No regrets? I think about that. Some. I wish it hadn't come to this, but I don't regret protecting what Carl and I built. He'd be proud of you. Yeah, I think he would. We drive in silence for a while. The road stretches ahead, winding through forests and hills. What's the first thing you want to do when we get there? Marta asks. Sleep, for about 12 hours. She laughs. And after that? Walk on the beach, eat lobster. Sit by the fire, not think about Meridian or Cynthia or any of it. Sounds perfect. We arrive at the cabin just before sunset. It's small, cozy, right on the water. I stand on the deck, looking out at the ocean. The waves are steady, rhythmic, calming. Marta wraps her arms around me from behind. You did it, she says. We did it. No, you did it. You protected what mattered. You built something new, and you kept your promise. I turn around. Look at her. Thank you for staying with me through all of it. Always. We stand there for a long time, watching the sun set over the water, and for the first time in weeks, I feel like I can finally let go.